Hi, welcome to valuationpodcast.com, a podcast and video series about all things related to business and valuation. My name is Melissa Gragg, and I'm a business valuation expert in St. Louis, Missouri, focused on mediation and litigation. During this episode, we will discuss mergers and acquisitions and creating value before the transaction with Stephen White. He's an ESOP valuation expert and transaction advisor in Montclair, New Jersey.
Let's just say you had a fair market value of, say, 30 million. Not 30 million. Let's say 15 million. 15 million. Fair market value of 15 million. But the investment value, which is the maximum amount value that you could probably get out of this company, is going to be 30 million. So 15 million fair market value, 30 million maximum investment value. That 15 represents something better than if somebody came in with a fair market value at 20. Mm-hmm. Because now, instead of 15 room, now you only have 10. And so from a buyer standpoint, you never want to buy a company at the highest level, with the highest investment value, because there's nothing coming back in return for me. I've already reached that cap. So they will walk away from a deal if it's not valued accurately. Mm-hmm. Even though business owners tend to think they know what their business is worth, a buyer is very strategic, and they want to make certain that they're getting something appreciated out of that company. And that's something that we call a good company and an investment company. A good company is a company that you buy, but doesn't perform as well as you think it will be, and ends up being a bad investment. Good investment is when you buy something undervalued and it ends up growing. So you make that decision. Which one do you want? Do you want a good company or want a good investment? Mm-hmm. People that we work with, the people that you are involved in mergers and acquisitions, they want to make a good investment. They don't want to just buy a company. And that's where fair market value becomes so critical, and having them understand the purpose of having that fair market value. That's your baseline, like you said. That gives you that negotiating area so that the buyer knows where they can go as far as the potential investment value.
Well, and that's where I think, transaction advisors, mm-hmm. business brokers, investment bankers come in, and they have to give you a pretty adequate idea of where the market is going to price your company. Because a lot of times sellers want to say, well, if I sold for around 10 million, I think I would be okay for retirement. And I think that would be reasonable. And then it's like, well, what's the basis of that number? It's like, I mean, it would make me feel comfortable, So I think it's really part of our job in coming in and helping sellers and buyers is to give them kind of a reality check and say, what is somebody going to look at and not like about this company? What could you fix? Or what are they going to love about the company? Because a buyer will have less expenses in some capacity. And a lot of sellers are like, okay, well, then we're going to price it without all those expenses. But that's what the buyer is going, so I think there's, some complex issues in there, but it's also bringing some reality to the process.